Good evening, everyone. Hello, and welcome to Willingness Wednesday. I am your coach, Bvon Squires, and today we are sponsored by Spirit Source Connection. Okay. I am so excited to be here. Oh my goodness. I have really looked forward to coming here to be with you on Wednesdays. You know, this is just like the highlight of my week. And so I want to thank you. If you are new, I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. You are so welcome here. This is a safe place for you. Now, I do have somewhat of a disclaimer, however, because we talk about things here that you're not going to hear at normal dinner conversation. The things that we talk about here, you're not going to have learned them in school, although I wish we would have. But the things that we learn here are spiritual in nature because we are multi-dimensional spiritual beings and we do have supernatural powers. So the things that we talk about here are meant to, give you a different perspective, to gently usher you into a new way of looking at yourself, a new way of believing. So we have a perception, that you can a provocative perception, and definitely want you to feel safe here. We're not trying to change you at all. Just want to give you some ideas about what is actually possible for you. And if you are returning, you already know. I thank you so much. I cannot do this without you. I just cannot do this without you. So thank you so much for returning. Thank you so much for allowing me to pour into you week after week. I am just so honored and so blessed and humbled to be your coach. All right. And so most of you already know, but for those of you who are new, we embarked on a series called the Four Agreements. And so even though there are only four agreements, there were a couple of chapters before the first agreement, and then there are a couple of chapters after the fourth agreement. And so today we're talking about the new dream. Oh, it is so powerful. I was so passionate. I was just filled with so much energy as I was researching this information this week. As I was listening to it, I was identifying with it so much, and I thought, oh my God, this is such a message of a hope, and I'm hoping that you can see it as a message of hope as well. All right, well, there's a lot to cover tonight, so with no further ado, we're going to just jump on in. Okay, so tonight again we're talking about the new dream, and this is part of Don Miguel Ruiz's Four Agreements series. And so, first of all, the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is I want you to forget anything that you've ever learned over your whole entire lifetime. I want you to forget it. I want you to forget everything that you've learned. I know you're like, coach, like, why, coach? Trust me on this. Trust me on this, because tonight what we're trying to do is help you to use your imagination, right? It's a part of us that we so readily used as children. Oh, don't you remember all those imagining? Let's play this. Let's play doctor. Let's play nurse. Let's play this. Let's play that. That was just all imagining. That was all just part of your creative nature. And then, of course, as we grew up and responsibilities came in, and, that we created the judge, and, there's just all of those fun, creative parts of us was kind of shut down, put arrested, as if you will, so that we could grow up and be adults and do all kinds of adulting type things. Okay. Well, I want to tell you tonight that imagination is still part of who you are. So use it. What I have learned about imagination is that it is used to manifest, it is used to create. And so tonight, I want you to take away all the things that you've ever learned and use your imagination to create a new way of living, a new way of looking at yourself, a new way of being. Okay. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're just going to use our imaginations. And meanwhile, I'm going to just share some things with you to help you along the journey. Okay. All right. So let's just jump on in. So now, this, like I said, is the beginning of a new understanding, a new dream. That's what this is all about, a new dream, a dream that you create, a dream that is precipitated by your perspective. You get to create what you see. And what the thing I want you to know is that perspective is not a fixed idea. Perspective can be fluid. Imagine you had the opportunity to change your perspective as often as you liked, as often as you needed. Ooh, wouldn't that be amazing? Yes. Okay, so now you have the power. I want you to know that you, being a supernatural being, okay, multi-dimensional supernatural being, you have the power to create heaven with your words, or you have the power to create hell. Now, if you have the power to create either of these, which would you choose? I'm going to choose heaven. Now, it might not be the traditional idea of heaven, okay? Now, this is a heaven that you create within your own bubble, within your own circle of influence, if you will. This is not the heaven that is created for all mankind. This is the heaven that you create for yourself, okay? And so now imagine you have the ability to see the world with different eyes. Whatever you choose, each time you open your eyes, you can see a different thing with your imagination. So close your eyes right now, and I want you to use your imagination, and I want you to use your perception to think about a new life. I want you to envision yourself in a new life, a life where you don't need to justify your existence. Ooh, and you are free to live your reality. You are free to have permission to be happy. Isn't that what we all want, anyways, to be happy and to really enjoy life? Imagine you have the power to do that. Imagine that's your life. Imagine you have a life that's free of conflict. You're not arguing with yourself or anyone else. You have the ability to live your life without fear. Imagine that. No anxiety. Now, who can relate to that one? No anxiety, no fear. You have the ability to live the life that you want, right? Because you know what you want, you know what you don't want, and you know when you want it, and you have the ability to express that. And that, no one can fault you for expressing it because it's your life. It is the life that you are creating, and you can give yourself permission to speak up for yourself. Imagine you're free to change your life and live your life in a way that you want. Imagine you are free to ask for what you need and to be able to say yes or no to anything or anyone. That's huge, isn't it? Imagine you living your life without fear of being judged by others. Imagine you living your life according to what you want for your life. Okay? Imagine you're living your life, you're not controlling anyone else, and no one is controlling you. Now, that right there, I tell you what, all the rules we have in our society, can you imagine living a life that no one is trying to control anyone? It's hard to imagine, isn't it? Now, that one is kind of tough for me to imagine because of the government and all of the say so that they have in what we're doing. But we're imagining here, right? So come on, coach, let's imagine. We are imagining, we're using our imagination, because the reason that we're imagining these things is because it's actually possible. And so I want you to think about these as I talk to you about them. I want you to think about these, and I really want you to imagine a life. I mean, as best as you can. I want you to imagine this kind of a life. I want you to imagine a life that acceptance is what you want and not what you need. See, a lot of people think acceptance is a need, and it's really not. It's a want. And so, if we realize that acceptance is just a want, then we wouldn't be so hard pressed to try to get it from everyone. See, so when we give ourselves the acceptance that we need, we don't need to go looking for it outside of ourselves. Imagine a life where we feel accepted. Imagine a life where we're free to love and not be afraid of not receiving that love back. Oh, that's powerful. That is so powerful. I want you to let that sink in for a minute. I want you to imagine that you love yourself. This is a really good one, okay? I want you to imagine that you love yourself just the way that you are, just the way that you imagine yourself being loved by someone else, I want you to imagine that for your life. I want you to imagine that you're okay with your personality just the way it is and you're not trying to change it for anyone. I want you to imagine that you know that you are perfect just the way you are. Now, can we let that one sink in for a minute? Because so many things that we see on social media give us all these ideas of who we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to look like and how we're supposed to behave. I was even thinking about this shirt that I'm wearing tonight. The judge came out and said, "You can't wear that on the camera tonight." And I said, "Yes, I can." So look at me. Look at me being rebellious. Look at me saying, "No, judge, you're not running my life today. I am running my life today. I have already imagined a life where I can wear whatever I want to wear and I don't have to answer to anybody about it. I am already living a life where people's opinions are starting to not mean much to me anymore because I understand. And through all of this research that I'm doing and all of this knowledge that I'm gaining, especially of the four agreements, is really, really giving me a lot of freedom for my life. And I hope that it has given you a lot of freedom for yours too. All right. So now, if you want to find out more about this and how to use your imagination, you probably haven't used it in so long. You might have forgotten how to imagine. It's not an easy thing to do if it's not something that you're used to doing. And so, if you'd like for me to help you with that, you can call me because I am your coach after all. You can call me at 317-721-4315, or you can email me at b.vonsquires@gmail.com. All right, so let's just continue to move on. All righty. So now I want you to imagine all of these wonderful things that you can live a life of happiness, that you can live a life of fulfillment, that your life can have a deeper meaning. These are things that are actually possible. And that's why I'm asking you to believe them, right? Now, you can live a life in a state of bliss. You can live a life in a state of grace because God gives us his grace. Now, you can live your life in a state of heaven on earth because what we create through our perception is what we actually experience. That's the life that we live, the life that we create through our perception. Now, according to the Toltecs, okay, love is the only thing that has the ability to put you in a state of bliss. Now, a state of bliss is like being in love because you're happy go lucky. You're feeling love coming from the trees. You're feeling love coming from the atmosphere. Love is actually the exchange of good, positive energy from one being to the next. And so when we realize that trees and flowers and animals all have the ability to love because they are also energetic beings, then we realize that we have love coming from so many places. We can give and receive love in our lives today. Now, isn't that amazing? Now, 2,000 years ago, there was a man, his name is Jesus. He came and he talked about the kingdom of heaven, but nobody was ready to hear about it. Nobody was ready to hear what he had to say, right? So imagine that his message of love is available to you today. And if you can imagine that it's available to you, then you can receive it today. You can receive anything that you imagine. And that's the thing that I'm trying to help you to see here, okay? Now, you can be loving at all times because loving something in or someone is a choice, just like happiness is a choice. Happiness is a choice because we choose to be happy or sad. We choose to be, living in a dream of hell or a dream of heaven. We choose these things. These are choices for us, right? Okay. So now, struggle. I want to talk about that because for so long, I don't know what it is. I had an agreement with struggle. I had an agreement with struggle that said, if I wasn't struggling, I wasn't doing my best. And I don't know where that thought came from. I'm thinking that maybe, growing up, I saw a lot of struggle in my life and I didn't understand that it's not necessary. Struggle is not necessary, especially when I can make choices today. See, I had choices that I have not even been aware of that I have. Sometimes the choices that we have, like happiness is a choice. But for so long, I thought happiness is something that someone is supposed to give me. I'm supposed to give them. Together we give each other happiness. But no, happiness is a choice. Okay, so when I act out of love, that kind of produces. So love coupled with action is going to produce happiness. See, so it's a choice that I have today, just like I found out that struggle is a choice. I haven't struggled in quite a while, and it's because I came to understand that struggle is not necessary. When I make good, sound decisions, there's no reason for me to struggle. When I trust the universe to bring me what it is that I need for this journey, there's no reason for me to struggle. See, the struggle happens when I'm trying to enact my own plan, when I'm trying to enact my own will in life, as opposed to living in, the creator's will for life. See, that's where the struggle comes from. And so once I was able to surrender and realize that there is a natural ebb and flow, I can't just get in here and start willy-nilly all over the place. No, I had to get in and flow with the ebb and flow of the universe that has been here long before I was created. Okay. And so once I learned these things through all of this research that I have been doing, then I realized that struggle was not necessary. Struggle is a choice, just like happiness is a choice. And so I want to let you know that, so that now you can be happy if you choose to. And why wouldn't you, after all, right? All right. So now I want you to understand that humans, okay, so we have a destiny. Now we can either go through our destiny as a struggle, rebelling against it, or we can accept our destiny and then move through it with love. Okay. And so when we move through it with love, that eliminates the struggle. Now, because of our beliefs and agreements are mixed in with the dream of the planet through our domestication, it's kind of hard for us to see that the parasite, which is made up of the the judge, the victim, and the belief system, okay, it's been so much a part of who we are for so long. I mean, we created it, for goodness sakes, and it has developed with us over the years. And that's why it feels like it's us, like the parasite is us, and it is not us. Now, it does fog us up because of the domestication, and we have not been able to set ourselves free from it. Okay. So there's a little fog that's going on because we don't even know all the things that we have agreed to. We don't know all the things that we have said. Okay, I believe that. As a child, we had the same domestication as we had as little children. And so obviously I'm not a child anymore. So quite naturally, my beliefs and my agreements have changed. But as long as I am still caught up in the dream of the planet through domestication, I am not going to be able to perceive another idea. I'm not going to be able to see another dream. And so this is what I'm trying to help you to see today, that you have choices. You can be whomever you want to be. You can live the life that you want to live. You are free. You can set yourself free. That's the part I want you to really know, because that's exactly how I feel. I have gained so much freedom from understanding that I am my own boss. I am the boss of me and God. Nobody else, no other human being is the boss of me, is the boss of how I think, of what I speak. No one gets to tell me that I don't have the right to speak my mind or wear what I want, go where I want, live where I want. These are all my own personal choices, okay? And so anytime that you start feeling like you are in a trap or that you can't do what you want to do, I want you to remember that no one is the boss of you. Okay, that's the thing I want you to know. Remember when you were a kid and you said, "You're not the boss of me." No one is the boss of you. You are your own boss. You get to decide for yourself. Okay. All right. So now it says here, the Toltecs say the only reason that we suffer is because we choose to suffer. We talked about the suffering part. Now, the same is true for happiness. We talked about that as well. The reason that you're happy is because you choose to be happy. And I choose happiness. How about you? Do you choose happiness too? Well, I want to tell you guys, I'm so happy that I was able to just bring this information to you and to help you learn how to imagine, at least, dust the dirt off off your imagination and use it because you haven't used it in so long. Now, I use my imagination all the time because I know that it is a tool for manifestation and or manifesting, if you will. And so I want to encourage you to use your imagination. And so I have some exercises that we can work together. If you'll give me a call, I will be certainly happy to take you through those exercises so that you can start creating the life that you want to live. You can no longer have to live by the beliefs that other people have given you. That's the reason why most people are unsuccessful, is because they have not discovered their own belief system, because they continue to allow the judge and the victim to run their lives. And so today I want to offer you the opportunity to be free. If you want to be free, you can be free. And I'm here to help you because I am your coach. And so if you will call me at 317-721 4315, or you can email me at b.von_squires@gmail.com. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. And we have one more week. I think it's going to be a short one next week as well. We're going to talk about prayers next week, and what the meaning of prayer is, and how to pray and all that. This is also part of the 4 agreements. And I think they actually have a prayer that we're going to pray together. And so I can't wait to take you guys through that and talk to you about that as well. All right, guys, I am so excited about bringing this message to you. I hope I brought you some hope. It was certainly a hopeful message for me, just to let you know that freedom is yours. All you have to do is get it. All you have to do is decide you want it and then take the necessary steps to get it. It's yours. It's free. Well, it ain't free because you got to put the energy and the work in it, of course, but it is available. That's the thing I want you to know. I love the freedom that I have found and the way that I'm living my life, and I can't wait to share more of that with you. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful, beautiful Willingness Wednesday. And guess what? In the meantime, I'm going to pray and ask God to bless you real good. And anything that you are manifesting, I am sending my positive energy right over to you so that whatever it is can be delivered fast, quick, in a hurry right to you. I love you guys so much. And thank you so much for continuing to support me. Thank you for allowing me to be your coach. And I will see you next week right here on Willingness Wednesday at 7:15 p.m. Bye-bye, guys.